Hello, and welcome to the Let Them Live podcast. I'm Emily Burning, your host, and also the president and co-founder of Let Them Live. We bring you interviews with unsung heroes and inspiring individuals who are in the fight to save babies, mothers, and fathers from abortion. Our goal is to amplify their voices and bring their stories to the forefront, shedding light on the incredible work they do and the lives they touch. This is more than just a podcast. It's a platform that allows everyone to share their pro-life stories and inspire us to passionately continue advocating for life. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Let Them Live podcast. My name is Emily, and I'm your host. I'm also the president and co-founder of Let Them Live, and I'm really excited to be doing another episode. I've been just pumping out a lot of episodes, and I think that our next guest is just extremely inspirational. She has an incredible story, and I'm really excited for her to share it with you all. Our next guest is named Sam, and Sam was born and raised in California. Sam, oh my gosh, it's one of those days. Sam was born and raised in California and started riding horses when she was 4. And after attending a private Christian middle school, she worked really hard to graduate a year early from high school so that she could focus on her riding career. And after graduation, she fell away from her faith, fell away from the Lord, and really started to party and get into all that. I've been there, done that, so I totally understand. A year after dating her now husband, they both found out that they were pregnant and expecting. And she ended up taking the abortion pill. But after kind of processing everything, she realized that's not what she wanted to do. And so she took the abortion pill reversal. And it was what an amazing story. But now they both have 2 children and a mini farm east of San Diego, which is super cool. Sam is the venue manager at Milagro Winery and Events and is loving where God has placed her. And she still rides horses today. So we're going to welcome Sam Connolly. Hey, Sam, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Oh my gosh. Thank you for being on. I saw your stories. Actually, someone had mentioned you to me, and then I saw your story on the New York Times documentary that they did. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. So maybe we'll just start with that. Your story, you were featured in the New York Times. What was that like for you, that kind of interview process?
It was a little stressful, not going to lie. The experience was very rewarding just because a lot of people a lot of my friends didn't even know that was a possibility. So being able to do the documentary and share it and let the world know that you can change your mind, it is an option, was just really cool. It's also a hard thing because I get judged about it a lot. Yeah.
I feel like they were fair in sharing your story.
Yeah, I think they were really fair. They pretty much showed life. They followed me for 3 days. It was interesting.
That's different. You have like cameras around you and
yeah, I don't know how celebrities do it. I'm good.
I don't need that in my life. So I guess we'll get back to the story, but basically, so you did talk about you had the regret, and I was going to ask you, there's a lot of people saying, oh, abortion pill reversal, like it doesn't actually do anything. It's not effective, blah, blah, blah. How would it have impacted you mentally, emotionally, physically, if that information about abortion pill reversal was not made available to you?
Yeah, I don't think I'd be married. I don't think I would probably be in a good state, probably not doing well in life. It's just being full of that regret and then not having my daughter, I don't know. I just don't even want to go there.
Yeah, no, I think that just shows the importance of just even having that information available to you about the options. And that's where it loops back around to is like women should be given all the information about their options. And that includes abortion pill reversal. My question to you is, why do you think that so many people who like support abortion just write off abortion pill reversal treatment as ineffective or misleading or against science? Like, why is that kind of an immediate response?
I'm still just don't understand why they don't want women to know about it. I don't know if it has to do with the medical industry, like money. I don't understand it, why they just don't want to put it out there. When I did the New York Times documentary, when I watched it and saw the other side and how this nurse was just so mad that they were letting it pass in other states that like to have it known. And it just, I'm like, why do you not want women to change their mind? I don't understand it. So I honestly, I don't understand.
Yeah, it's like a big question mark. That was the thing when I watched the documentary too, and I saw the nurse and she was just like so against it. I was like, this doesn't make sense to me because you and your beautiful child are literal like testaments to the fact that it does work. And we've had other moms through Let Them Live that have done the abortion pill reversal and it's been completely successful. So even if there is a chance of that, it doesn't really make sense. And it makes you wonder if there's more to it than just women's choice, right? Because if it really was, this information would be available too. So I'm with you there. It's a big question mark for sure. And maybe you can share your thoughts as well. After Roe v. Wade was overturned, we've seen an increase. And I think we're going to, when the statistics come out for 2023, we'll see a massive increase in the use of abortion pills. So I think it was in February 2022, it was like 54% of all abortions in the US were abortion pills. And then I think it's like being predicted now that it's going to be closer to 75%. I'm not really sure. Obviously, the numbers haven't come out, but we've seen that increase. So with that happening, what do you think is the importance of expanding knowledge of abortion pill reversal, and how can we like expand knowledge on the abortion pill reversal treatment?
Honestly, I think just trying to tell everyone about it. I still have friends that are like, didn't know this was a thing. And every year I share the documentary on my Facebook just because I have I make new friends and I let them see it. And then they're like, I didn't know this was a possibility. I wish I would have known about this when I was like making that decision. And there's people that I know that are full of regret. And I just think trying to get it out there as best as possible and sharing it and getting as many people to share the story as well is just what we're going to have to do.
Totally. And this is an interesting thing that might be considered a double standard. My husband and I haven't been able to have kids, so we pursued embryo adoption. And part of embryo adoption is obviously adopting embryos that are already frozen from being created like through the IVF process, but they're already existing. So we do the second half of IVF. So I had to take all the hormones. I was on almost like 2,000 milligrams of progesterone per day. And that's like that's what happens during IVF. And we see a lot of people in the abortion like movement or industry that are supporting IVF and supporting the use of very high doses of progesterone to achieve pregnancy. But when it comes to abortion pill reversal, which is literally high doses of progesterone, they say that it is ineffective, it doesn't work, it's unsafe, it's not tested. They go on and on. But that same process, or that similar process with a high dose of estrogen or progesterone, is used in like IVF. How does that make you feel? Isn't that weird? I don't know.
No, that's actually weird. But as you're saying that, I just feel like they think that if we're coming out telling people that there is a reversal, I feel like they're telling women they can't have an abortion in a sense. Like maybe that's their mindset on it. And I don't know, like I feel like this is just always going to be a war we're going to be fighting.
Yeah, but we'll fight it. We keep sharing information.
Always.
Because you never know. You might end up like saving a life. And saving two lives, the mom and the baby. That's something that should be made available to them. And I guess as someone who has, I don't know if you want to, but can you share your experience with like when you sought out abortion pill reversal and what that process was like and the people that you met and just how that went for you?
Yeah. When I went into Culture of Life, they ended up only being like a mile and a half away from me, which was like a godsend. By the time I got there, I had already started bleeding. So Debbie, who is just lifesaver. She was like, we got to get you in. And I'm like terrified of needles, like absolutely terrified, but had to do the progesterone shots because I was so far into the pill that I was already losing my daughter. Sorry. It's
Oh, it's really, really hard to remember.
sorry. I don't know why I'm crying.
It's emotional. This is you went through. This is.
I think it's hard because I was pregnant with twins with her and I ended up losing one. So it's been, and now all of a sudden all my friends on Facebook are having twins. So I'm like, cool.
It's okay. I cry all the time.
I know, I'm such a baby.
I am too. No, sometimes you got to let it out.
But yeah, so I went in. Debbie was like, we're going to start the shots every other day. I had to drive in. Luckily, she was there because I just needles and meat.
Were they in your glutes? Yep. Yeah. I know exactly, girl. This long, and they're like thick.
Yeah. And they were sitting there and I'm having a full-on conversation while I'm like, there's a needle sitting inside of me right now.
I still have pain. Personally, I think I hit a nerve or something because there's like a numb spot.
I think that happened because I couldn't get out of bed for a couple of days. I was like, I don't know what happened. I was like, but I don't know. It could have been.
I'm right there with you.
But the experience was, I don't know, but the nurses are so kind there. Everyone was really kind. They still ask me how I'm doing. They held a baby shower for me. Like they just went all out. And Debbie had contacted me and was like, do you want to do a documentary? And I'm like, sure, that sounds great. And then not realizing, she's like, oh, it's with the New York Times. And I was like, oh, I thought it was just like a little in-house documentary.
Are you normally someone that would like be open to like filming and stuff? Or was this just totally out of your wheelhouse, but you just were like, God's okay, we're just going to do it.
Yeah, I was honestly like, should I do this? And then I called my parents and they were like, yeah, this is a way for you to share your story. Because a part of me was like, I had an abortion. So I like didn't want my parents to think like, I grew up in a very Christian household. So it was just, obviously they support me, not with the abortion, but they were helping me with everything after. Mm-hmm. So they were very ecstatic for me to share my story. And they're like, this is God's way of letting you share your story with the world. And once they told me that, I was like, okay, we're doing it like 100%. So it was really cool.
That's amazing to have their support. And it's so good that you did it too, because I feel like sometimes when we do things or we make mistakes or whatever, the easiest thing is to fall into that shame and into the guilt and kind of cycle in that and not let people in, just cut people out just because we're so ashamed. But like major props to you for just doing it and crawling out of that, because that's really what like the enemy wants, for us to live in that like bad place. So yeah. I'm glad you did it. I thought it was amazing. I watched it and I was like, you go girl.
I could totally tell. I was like, they're filming me. Can we be done? Oh my gosh, so what? They were changing the angles all the time. I was like, but the two that were there were so nice. I still want to be like, hey, like want to do another one just so they can see how life is going.
It's pretty amazing that you were able to find them and have them help you. I was going to ask, like, how did you find, and you might have said it in the documentary, I can't remember, but how did you find out about abortion pill reversal? Did you just Google it or?
Yeah, so my thought process on it was, they can make a blind person see. I was like, they can change this. So I was like, abortion. I think I Googled like reverse effects of abortion pill or something. And then the APR popped up and there was a hotline number to call. And I talked to her nurse. She was so nice. She asked me where I lived. And I was like, we have a clinic in Mission Valley. And I was like, oh, she told me where. And I was like, that's right there.
That's amazing.
So I just Googled them. And
how did I'm totally going off of I'm not on our questions anymore. I'm just like, I just got questions popping into my head. Your now husband at the time, what was his role and everything? Like, how did he feel? Because usually like there's a huge impact of the father of the baby in certain decisions. What was his role in everything?
So he was not wanting to have a baby. We had only been together for a year. I've known him since I was 10. So We were best friends, grown up with him, but got pregnant. He was like, we can always have another one down the road. Like, we're just not ready. And then I went in to my first appointment I had, and I sat there, and the lady could tell I just didn't want to be there. And she was like, you should probably take some more time to think about this. And I was like, okay. So I left, and he was like, did you do it? And I was like, no, I couldn't. And he was a little mad at me. And then as time went on, he was just like trying to convince me not to have a baby. But he's either way, I'll support you, but I'd prefer not to. That was a big thing. So that's why I mainly went through with it, trying to justify it like, oh, I can just have another one down the road, or thinking it was just easy to pop out another one.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say too when they are wanting an abortion. To justify it a little bit more is, I've heard people say, oh, this baby will come back to me in another baby, or like something like that. Like their spirit will come back to me. And I'm like, no, that's not really how it works like that way. And sometimes it's, you try to cover up maybe what the pain is going to be with, we'll just have another one.
Yeah.
But obviously that's not like an effective thing. So
yeah, no. Yeah.
So when you did the abortion pill reversal, what was his like thought process? Was he involved at that point?
Oh yeah, he went with me when I went into Culture of Life. Like the day he was like, I texted him, I'm like, listen, I was like, you can either be a part of it, you don't have to. I don't blame you, but I'm gonna go in. I have an appointment and I'm going. I was like, this isn't sitting well with me, and I'm gonna go. And he was like, okay, like I'm gonna support you either way. So he came with me, and he was scared. He was very scared. And it's just funny because all of our friends are like, him being a dad, like what? And then now he's just like the best dad. So it's just funny how it changed.
Yeah.
Just your life.
Yeah, totally. I'm glad that he supported you in that. And I'm glad that you, more importantly, stuck up for yourself and for your baby. You were like, no, I'm going to do this. So you can either come or not. And that's such an important thing. I think a lot of moms need to hear is that they know in their gut, it's within them to be strong and stand up. And I was going to ask you along those same lines, what advice would you give to women or girls who find themselves pregnant in a similar situation as you? Yeah. What would be your advice to women struggling either considering abortion or they've already taken the first abortion pill?
I'd just tell them to reconsider taking the pill and doing the abortion pill reversal. Just let them know there are people out there that will support them. They may not feel like it, even if their family is not there supporting them. There are people out there that will 100% support them and try to help them every step of the way. Culture of Life, like if you're ever struggling, like they will definitely be there for you. They were there for me, and they still are. So there are people out there that are going to help you, and you're not alone. Other people have been in your situation. It's just, there's support, and I just want everyone to know that there is someone out there that's going to help you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's going to be okay.
Yeah. I was crying when I found out I was pregnant. I was like, oh my gosh, is this real? It was terrifying. And then I don't know. It just all of a sudden I was like not terrified anymore once I decided to keep my baby. But I think it was more getting pregnant without being married is the shame. I thought my parents were going to shame me, but they didn't. I think if you think your parents are going to not be there for you, it's crazy that they just turn everything off and are there for you.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's a big fear a lot of times is losing that support, but there are so many people that will support you. And I don't know, your parents may surprise you, especially if they're real Christian people who are called to love and to support. And yeah, so I think that's great advice. And thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah, if anyone has questions, they can reach out to me.
Yeah, okay, that's a good thing is like, you have social media, anything?
Yeah, I have Facebook, Instagram. That's it.
What's your Instagram handle?
It's Sam I Am, but it's 4 M's and a 7, I think. I'm really bad. I'm going to look.
I'll send that to Patrick too.
I know. I'm like, yeah, so it's Sam I Am, 4 M's, 7.
Okay, Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, thank you again, Sam, for taking the time. I know you had a crazy morning, so I appreciate you carving that out. And it was so good to see your little ones. And just thank you for sharing your story. I think you have an amazing story. And I hope that at least this platform gives your story more of a voice too.
Thank you so much
more
for
than
joining us
with
on
the New York
today's
Times
episode
interview,
of the
but
Let Them Live
you never know.
podcast. I would like to give
Yeah,
a
I
special
hope so.
shout out
I
to
just
Patrick at Moon
wanna
Shadow Studios.
everyone
who does
to know
an
that
amazing
it's out
job
there.
of editing our
Absolutely.
podcast.
Yeah.
If you're ever in
Thank
the
you
need
again,
for a
Sam, and
podcast
thank you
editor,
guys for
he is
tuning in
definitely
and
the one to
watching
go to.
or listening
Let
to
Them
the Let
Live
Them
is
Live
a Christian
podcast.
nonprofit
We will see you
dedicated
guys
to supporting
next time.
women who are considering abortion primarily due to financial burden. 73% of women have abortions because of financial struggles, and we're here to help bridge that gap. Our goal is to provide the emotional and financial support these women need to feel empowered to choose life. If our cause resonates with you and you're interested in learning more, getting involved, or making a donation, please visit our website at www.letthemlive.org. One amazing way to contribute is by joining our Heartbeat Club, where you can become a monthly donor, and your ongoing support will ensure that we can continue helping women every single month. You can also follow us on social media to stay up to date with all the amazing stories and ways that you can be part of our mission. You can also find me on Instagram at Emily Burning. Thank you again for listening, and please join us for more upcoming inspiring stories and conversations.